After spending the night at the client's invitation, we headed out for breakfast the next morning. The meal was pleasant, filled with casual conversation and the exchange of business pleasantries. As we wrapped up our meeting, the client surprised me with a gift. Said to my boss, "You have a beautiful secretary," she said with a smile. Her words lingered in my mind as we embarked on our journey back home. My boss, always the observant one, noticed my contemplative mood. "Everyone sees you as a beautiful woman. Have you ever considered seeing yourself that way?" he remarked, catching me off guard. His words struck a chord within me, sparking a sense of curiosity and self-reflection. Upon reaching our destination, my boss dropped a bombshell. "Today, you will be transformed. Embrace your feminine side," he declared. Stunned, I complied as he led me to his house nearby. Throughout the day and into the night, I was immersed in a world unlike any other. He dressed me in feminine attire, served me exquisite food and drinks, and swept me into a dance that felt like a dream. His touch was gentle yet commanding, awakening a sense of femininity I never knew existed within me. As the night unfolded, a newfound sense of liberation encased me. In a moment of boldness, I leaned in and kissed my boss, a gesture fueled by newfound confidence and self-acceptance. With a mix of surprise and intrigue, he listened as I expressed my realization that happiness could indeed be found in embracing my femininity. The night concluded with a sense of freedom and authenticity. The walls I had built around my true self began to crumble, paving the way for a journey of self-expression and discovery. And as the sun rose on a new day, I embraced the beauty of transformation, ready to embark on a life filled with newfound possibilities. As the days passed after that fateful night, a strange sensation crept over me. It was as though I was wearing someone else's clothes, someone female. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. The woman inside me had woken up. One day at work, my boss called me into his office. He looked at me intently and said, "If you truly believe that becoming a woman is your path, then perhaps it's for the best." I hung my head in embarrassment, not knowing how to respond. With a heavy heart, I quietly agreed. Without further ado, my boss commenced the process of my sexual reassignment surgery, SRS. Through meticulous surgery, he transformed my body into that of a complete woman, endowed with voluptuous breasts, a shapely and rounded buttocks, ensuring that I would cherish these newfound attributes for the rest of my days. He assured me that the investment made in these alterations would enhance my femininity and captivate those around me. To perfect my transformation, my boss arranged for a procedure to alter my voice.
Following the surgery, my voice resonated with the melodic tones of a woman. As I stood there, a sense of both trepidation and excitement flooded over me. I knew that from this moment on, my life would never be the same. I would navigate the world as a woman, embracing my newfound womanhood and showcasing the beauty that had been crafted for me. In the quiet stillness of a warm summer evening, the soft glow of city lights illuminated the sprawling metropolis below. Among the gleaming skyscrapers stood a grand office building, its sleek glass facade a beacon of success and power. Inside, a transformation was unfolding, a story so surreal it seemed to belong to another realm. I had lived my whole life as a boy, but now I found myself in the body of a new woman. The transition was as sudden as it was bewildering, leaving me grappling with a newfound identity that seemed to blur the lines between who I was and who I had become. But in this unfamiliar form, I felt a sense of liberation, a freedom to explore a world I had never known. It was my boss who orchestrated this metamorphosis, a man of commanding presence and enigmatic allure. He had seen something in me, a potential waiting to be unlocked, and with a daring stroke, he had changed me from a man to a woman. From that moment on, my life took on a new meaning, a purpose that seemed to resonate deep within my soul. As I navigated this uncharted territory, my boss stood by my side, his gaze filled with a mixture of admiration and desire. He introduced me to the world as his girlfriend, a title that sent ripples of excitement and trepidation through my newly formed being. In his arms, I felt a strange sense of belonging, a connection that transcended the boundaries of gender and convention. Every night, he showered me with love and affection, his touch igniting a fire within me that blazed with passion and intensity. In those intimate moments, I embraced my womanhood with a fervor that bordered on obsession, reveling in the sensations that coursed through my body like a symphony of desire. But it was not just love that defined our relationship. In the light of day, I found myself immersed in the world of business, a realm where I proved to be invaluable to my boss in ways I had never imagined. I became his right hand, orchestrating deals, wooing clients, and delivering presentations with a confidence that belied my former self. The clients, too, were enchanted by the enigma that was me, the woman who had emerged from the shadows of a boyhood long forgotten. They found solace in my words, comfort in my presence, and trust in my abilities, forging alliances that flourished under my guiding hand. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, I found myself living a life that was both exhilarating and surreal. I had shed the skin of my past self and embraced a new existence, one that sparkled with possibilities and promise. And through it all, I lived as a beautiful woman, a vision of grace and strength that enchanted all who crossed my path. In the arms of my boss, I found love and acceptance. In the world of business, I found purpose and fulfillment. And in the depths of my being, I discovered a truth that transcended the boundaries of gender and identity. For in this new chapter of my life, I had found myself, not as a man or a woman, but as a soul reborn, ready to embrace the beauty and complexity of a world that defied all expectations. And as the city lights continued to twinkle in the night sky, I knew that this journey, this transformation, was just the beginning of a story that was uniquely, undeniably mine. Today, I was determined to reveal my true self to the world, a woman. I stood before the mirror, my reflection shimmering back at me like a whisper of possibilities. With steady hands, I smoothed down the delicate fabric of the dress that clung to my curves in a way that made me feel both vulnerable and powerful. This was the first time I was truly seeing myself, and the woman staring back at me exuded a confidence that I had never known as a man. And then there was a knock on my door, a familiar sound that sent a shiver down my spine. It was my boss, a man whose presence commanded respect and whose gaze always seemed to linger a moment too long. But today, there was something different in his eyes as he looked at me. Admiration, curiosity, maybe something more. "Ready for our shopping trip?" he asked, his voice a velvet whisper that stirred something deep within me. Without a word, I nodded, my heart racing with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. As we walked side by side through the bustling streets of the city, I couldn't help but notice the way heads turned in our direction, whispers trailing in our wake like a gentle breeze. We entered a high-end boutique where racks of exquisite clothing beckoned to me like old friends. Boss wasted no time in selecting a stunning array of dresses, panties, and bras, each one more exquisite than the last. As he handed them to me, his touch lingered on my skin, sending sparks of electricity shooting through my veins. I retreated to the fitting room, the soft light casting a warm glow over my flushed cheeks as I tried on each garment. The sensation of silk against my skin, the way the fabric clung to my every curve, it was unlike anything I had ever experienced. And when I finally emerged from the fitting room, a vision of femininity and grace, I saw the look of awe in his eyes. He took me by the arm, leading me to a secluded corner of the store where the world seemed to fall away, leaving just the two of us in our own little bubble of intimacy. And then, without a word, he drew me close, his touch gentle yet possessive, his lips brushing against mine with a hunger that mirrored my own. In that moment, everything shifted. The boundaries that had once defined me as a man dissolved, leaving behind a woman who reveled in her newfound softness, her heightened sensitivity to every touch and caress. Boss's hands roamed over my body, tracing the contours of my new form with a tenderness that brought tears to my eyes. And as he whispered sweet nothings in my ear, as he pressed his lips to the pulse point on my neck, I could feel the stirrings of something deep and primal awaken within me. There was a joy in surrendering to this new reality, in embracing the softness of my emotions, in allowing myself to be loved in a way that I had never experienced before. As we left the boutique, hand in hand, I felt a sense of freedom that I had never known. The world looked different through the eyes of a woman, every color more vivid, and every sensation more intense. And as Boss gazed at me with a mixture of adoration and desire, I knew that this was just the beginning of a journey that promised to be as beautiful and complex as the woman I had become. The soft glow of the dimly lit candles and the murmur of hushed conversations set the perfect backdrop for our evenings together. As I sat across from him, I couldn't help but marvel at the transformation that had taken place within me since the day I had embraced my womanhood. No longer did I shy away from the femininity that had always been a part of me, but rather, I embraced it wholeheartedly. The gentle touch of makeup on my skin and the elegant dresses that adorned my figure made me feel like a different person, someone who exuded a newfound confidence and grace. My boss, a man of few words but countless gestures of kindness, had played a pivotal role in this metamorphosis. His unwavering support and gentle encouragement had helped me blossom into the woman I had always yearned to be. And as we sat there, savoring the flavors of the exquisite meal before us, I couldn't help but feel a deep sense of gratitude towards him. After dinner, he would take me for leisurely walks along the cobblestone streets, the city lights casting a soft glow on our path. The cool evening air would brush against my skin, and I would find solace in the rhythmic sound of our footsteps echoing in the quietude of the night. It was during these moments that I felt truly alive, free from the confines of the corporate world and the expectations that had once weighed me down. But our most cherished outings were the ones to Longtree, a sprawling park on the outskirts of the city. Nestled amidst towering trees and fragrant blooms, it was a sanctuary of tranquility where we could escape the chaos of everyday life. The sight of the ancient tree, its branches reaching towards the sky like outstretched arms, never failed to fill me with a sense of wonder and peace. One particular evening, as we strolled beneath the canopy of leaves that rustled gently in the breeze, I felt a surge of emotion welling up inside me. The realization dawned upon me that my boss's love and acceptance had not only transformed me externally, but had also touched the deepest recesses of my soul. I had found a sense of belonging in his presence, a sense of completeness that I had never known before. And as we paused by the foot of Longtree, bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun, I reached out and placed my hand on his shoulder. In that simple gesture, I found a sense of dependence that was both humbling and empowering. It was a silent acknowledgement of the bond that had blossomed between us, a connection that transcended mere words. As the sky painted itself in hues of pink and gold, I looked up at my boss, my heart overflowing with gratitude and love. In his eyes, I saw reflected a deep sense of pride and affection, a silent assurance that he would always be by my side, guiding me on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment. And in that moment, as the world around us faded into oblivion, I knew with certainty that I had found my place in the world, not just as a woman, but as a person loved and cherished for who I truly was. And with a contented smile gracing my lips, I whispered a silent vow to myself, to live each day with the same sense of joy and fulfillment that had become the hallmark of my newfound life. For in the embrace of my boss's unwavering love and the beauty of Longtree, I had discovered a truth that resonated deep within my soul, that to be truly happy, one must first embrace and love oneself. And as we turned to walk back to the city, hand in hand, I felt a sense of peace and serenity wash over me, knowing that I had found my place in this world, a place of acceptance, love, and unbridled joy.